Hey guys, welcome back to Dark Expeditions. I'm Brandon, and today we're back in the Mountain View Cemetery here in Walla Walla, Washington. So I came here to do a cool little video. I wanted to clear up some things and tell you guys about some cool little history here. So there's a local legend here in Walla Walla about some witch graves, and it's something that I was told as a kid. And growing up, people talk about it. It's a cool little spooky story. They say that a family of witches was killed by the townspeople and buried here. And actually, 12 years ago, a YouTuber by the name of Original Family Productions did a video. He brought his kids here, did a cool little video talking about the history of the witch graves and what happened. And it's a nice video, but it's not the actual story. So I'm going to get into the true story with you guys today. All right, so right here we got the Bentley family graves. This is what is told to be the witch graves here in town. And you can see it's covered up by cement markers. This is located just a little bit into the cemetery. The entrance is just over there. It's not too far in, but yeah, here it is. Let's take a look at it, guys. So from first glance, you can see husband and wife and a baby. And then there's this tombstone right here with hands pointing down. It says perpetual care. Let's look on the back real quick. Nothing on the back. So yeah, so growing up, I was told, that they cemented over them to keep them from coming back alive. And something that really pointed to that was, if you look at the dates, it says died 1900, and as if they were going to come back, except for the babies. It doesn't have it on the baby's grave. I was really curious about this, for a long time. I looked into it. Turns out they weren't witches at all. It's totally a false claim. It's a myth made up. So what really happened, let's just look at this real quick. A sorrowful tale of a child's death, estrangement. Lydia later remarried and is buried 2 plots north, and a whimsical sense of humor by Pardon Bentley, who was the cemetery caretaker from 1890 to 1907. So yeah, Pardon Doc Bentley, which his nickname was Doc. He was the cemetery caretaker until 1907. So he didn't actually die in 1900. During his time caretaking here at the cemetery, he wanted to create his own tombstone and design it, his own gravesite. And he did. This is what he wanted. And you can see perpetual care written on the sides. That's what he wanted there. He wanted perpetual care as he's laid to rest. Something that's always pointed out is the hands pointing down. What you don't see is that right here in the empty spaces, Doc wanted there to be a saying, here I am, how do you do, I am dead, so are you. And what happened was he passed away, but his wife didn't. She did not want that written on the tombstone, so that didn't go through. He was laid to rest here with the baby. She later on remarried to someone with the last name Fowler. Somewhere north of here, she is buried with the last name Fowler. And so she is not in here. And like I said, it's a local legend about witches and stuff. It's not true, but yeah, what was I going to say? All right, getting back on track. Like I said, it wasn't a true story about them. being killed by the townspeople. Pardon Doc Bentley died at St. Mary's Hospital in 1910, I believe, and she died later on in 1926. And a crazy little story is that this tombstone back here was actually stolen for a good chunk of time. I don't know where they found it, but it was relocated and brought back. That's something maybe some people don't know, is that this didn't always used to be here. I mean, it was here at first, but then it was stolen, you know. There's a weird reason why people steal tombstones, but it happened. But it's back here, and yeah, these are the cement markers. Something I also didn't notice is that Lita is actually buried right here. In findagrave.com, it made it kind of seem like it was farther away, so I didn't really think it was going to be so close. But here it is. Instead of being buried under the cement marker, she's right here. And yeah, that's really the true story of the witches' graves that aren't really witches. I know it's a cool little story to believe in, and there might have been some witch activity here in town, but for this right here, it wasn't true. All right, so now that I've told you the true story about these graves, let's get into a little bit of personal history with them. So the dad, Pardon Doc Bentley, he was born November 2nd, 1833 in Dutchess County, New York. And obviously 76 years later, on February 28th, 1910, he passed away here in Walla Walla. He was survived by two sons and a daughter. So this wasn't their only kid. They had three other kids. I do not know where they are buried. This is not them right here. Or maybe it is. If it, I will look into that more, and if when I find it out, I will put it in the video. My apologies for not getting the children's names. But yeah, you can see here someone left coins and fake flowers, but I don't see one for the dad. I don't know why that would be, but personally, if I was going to bring some flowers, I'd bring them for all of them. But it's a nice little gesture, you know. But yeah, thank you for coming along with me on this short little video. I hope you go out and do some personal research into your own local history, find out some cool little things, and until then, I'll get back to you another time. Take care, guys.